Today, we're releasing the findings of an independent evaluation into the Australian Industry Participation Policy, what we call the AIP policy. This policy is about one simple but powerful idea: making sure Australian businesses have a fair go when it comes to major projects in our country. The AIP policy was introduced to help local companies, whether that's manufacturers, suppliers or service providers, be part of large-scale projects funded by the Australian government or carried out by the private sector. We're talking about projects worth hundreds of millions of dollars, like infrastructure builds, energy developments and manufacturing facilities. We want to make sure that when these projects go ahead, Australian businesses aren't shut out. We want them to have a seat at the table, to bid for work and to grow local jobs and skills. This evaluation looked at how the AIP policy has worked in practice. It covered two types of projects: projects by the private sector worth over $500 million and government-funded projects worth more than $20 million. We spoke to industry leaders, business owners, government agencies and experts. We looked at data and we listened to where things are working and where they need to improve. There's good news. The policy has increased awareness. More Australian companies know what the rules are. More project developers are engaging earlier and more meaningfully with local suppliers. But we also heard about some real challenges. There are still barriers that make it hard for local businesses to compete, like lack of information, short time frames, or complex tender processes. The rules around who must follow the policy and how it's monitored can be confusing, and we need better data to measure how much work is actually going to Australian suppliers. The report makes some clear recommendations, and we're committed to action. We will improve the information and support available to Australian businesses, make the rules clearer and more consistent across government, strengthen oversight and accountability for major projects, and modernise our data systems so we can track local participation more effectively. This is about backing Australian industry and jobs. It's about making sure taxpayer dollars support local communities, local skills, and long-term national resilience, especially at a time when sovereign capability matters more than ever. Whether you run a small fabrication business, a consulting firm, or you're a young apprentice looking for work on a major project, we want to make sure Australian projects deliver Australian opportunities.